I've been told countless times how grindy this platinum is, and how one trophy in particular will take almost 50 hours itself. Now, I'm no stranger to platinums that take 100 plus hours, some of which I've already done on this channel. So suffice to say, I think I'm more than qualified to take this on. This game has 40 trophies, consisting of completing both the Legend and Dream Log, getting 100% Legend points in every episode, and unlocking every character. Then we have the aforementioned trophy for completing the entire gallery. I'm expecting that to take up at least half my playtime by the end. Let's start with the Legend Log, since that's kind of all I can start with. This covers all of One Piece, from the beginning to wherever the anime was at when this game came out. To start, we need to save Zoro from an execution. When I give him his swords back, he joins us as an NPC, and I can start using a new feature to this game. It's called a Kizuna attack, and think of it like an evolution of the style action from the second game. I have a meter in the top left I can fill up by defeating enemies. When it's past level 2, I can do a Kizuna attack, which essentially extends the combo. I also get the first trophy for using a Kizuna attack. Then, about 10 seconds later, I get another trophy for defeating 1000 enemies in a single battle. At the end, we have a face-off against Axe Hand Morgan. Before I finish him off, I'm told about another new feature called a Kizuna Rush. When my Kizuna gauge is at max, I can use it. This is basically the crew strike of the game. When I use it, I get a trophy for using my first Kizuna Rush. After I beat Morgan and complete the stage, I get a few trophies. One for completing the prologue, one for obtaining my first skill poster, and one for obtaining my first coin. Skill posters are used to get skills, and coins, like the first two games, are used to buff my stats. The next stage is against Buggy, and I get some more trophies here. With Zoro as my teammate, I'm clearing out this territory and using a bunch of Kizuna attacks. Each KO I get with a Kizuna attack adds to my beat, which is what I need to level up crew levels. But I'm getting ahead of myself. While I'm doing this, I get a trophy for using 20 Kizuna attacks in a single battle. Then, later on, Zoro gets something called a Hero Power. This is just something on top of the Kizuna gauge that lets me level up one more time for more abilities. I don't know how some characters get it, but it happens randomly from what I can tell. What's important about it is when I max out Zoro's Kizuna gauge again, I get a trophy for using my first Hero Power. After I beat Buggy and finish the stage, I see I got an S rank. I also fulfilled a condition on Luffy's skill poster and unlocked a skill. These get me the trophies for getting my first S rank and for unlocking my first skill. Surprisingly, this game has a stage at Syrup Village where we take on Captain Kuro. He was non-existent in the first game. This is also the first stage where I have more than one teammate. I can switch between them at any time and get a trophy for doing just that for the first time. Kuro is easy to beat, as well as the other pirates of the East Blue, Don Krieg and Arlong. The last stage of Chapter 1 is our crew entering Logue Town. We have to escape while being chased by the Marines, Buggy, and Alvida. Wow, this game has everyone. The goal is to have everyone get to Logue Town Harbor to escape. I can get there easily, but my NPC teammates are another story. On the way, we have the Marines and Buggy's people to deal with. At the end, Smoker shows up as the final boss as soon as everyone's safe. After I beat him, the stage ends and I get the trophy for completing the first chapter of the Legend Log. The second chapter starts us at Drum Island, which has little importance, so we'll skip to the next stage, Alabasta. Here, I have multiple teammates who pop in and out throughout the stage. I have Nami at first, then she leaves and I have Sanji, then he leaves and I have Zoro. While I had each of them, I used their Kizuna attacks, and when I use Zoro's, I get a trophy for using Kizuna attacks with 3 different characters in one battle. The boss of this stage is, of course, Crocodile. So far, I haven't had much trouble with any of the bosses. I'm sure that'll change later when I up the difficulty, but it's nice I can glide by for my first playthrough. After this stage, I obtain some more skill posters and get a trophy for collecting 20 of them. The next stage is another new one we haven't been to before. We're at Marktown looking for a way to the Sky Islands. After I defeat Bellamy, we find our way up there and meet Eneru. He wants to destroy Skypiea, so we have to stop him. During this stage, I use a Kizuna rush in a territory and end up getting a trophy for defeating 300 enemies in a single Kizuna rush. If there's one thing I've noticed about these stages, it's that they're long. Most of them, I'm there for 20 to 30 minutes. Don't be fooled by the end time being shorter than what it is. The timer pauses during cutscenes and when I use any special moves. This stage took me 30 minutes and the timer says I was only here for 19. After I beat Eneru and finish the stage, I get the trophy for completing the second chapter of the Legend Log. Speaking of stages taking a while, now we're at Water 7. The fight with Usopp is still here, except now it's a part of the Water 7 stage instead of being on its own. And I'm playing as Luffy, not Usopp this time. Definitely makes this fight a lot easier. What makes this fight take the longest so far is that I actually failed at first. Not from dying or anything, but because some of my teammates fled the battle. I was at the end boss against Bluno when Nami and Chopper needed help. I didn't know when I entered the boss battle that the doors would close and I'd be blocked off from them. I can't beat Bluno in time and fail the stage. There goes 30 minutes down the drain. The next stage is us against CP9 and is a lot more straightforward in comparison. I just need to beat Kaku, Jabra, and Lucci. Then save Robin and make sure everyone gets to the escape point. No closed off doors to jip me this time. After finishing this stage, Zoro's crew level gets maxed out and I get some new character coins. These get me the trophies for maxing out one character's crew level and for obtaining 50 different coins. The next 2 stages have us escaping Water 7 on our new ship and fighting Moria and Thriller Bark to get our stolen shadows back. Now this is the longest stage I've done without failing. Taking almost an hour, I have to find my way through some dense fog, defeat Moria a bunch of times, and defeat a giant special zombie he summons called Oars. That one by itself takes up half the stage time, since he keeps jumping away before I can beat him. When I beat Moria for the last time, the stage ends and I get the trophy for completing the 3rd chapter of the Legend Log. Now we're headed to the Sabati Archipelago, and the only interesting thing that happens here is I get a trophy for defeating 10,000 enemies using Kizuna attacks. Then in the next stage at Impel Down, I get another trophy for defeating 10,000 enemies, but this time with special attacks. Also, at the end of this stage, I get one more trophy for completing 25% of the gallery. The last 2 stages of this chapter are at Marineford. Kind of like the first game, where the first one ends with Aokiji, and the second one ends with Akainu. Well, it would've if Blackbeard hadn't interrupted it. Is it just me, or are some of the cutscenes in this game the exact same as ones from the first game, just upscaled? I'm fairly sure they are, and I probably only noticed it because I've been playing these games back to back. After I beat Blackbeard and finish this stage, I get the trophy for completing the 4th chapter of the Legend Log. Chapter 5 is the last chapter and takes place after the time skip. While it has 4 stages, only 3 of them are fully canon, because, like Storm 3, this game was being developed while the manga was still ongoing, so the ending against Doflamingo here is original to this game. After I go through all 4 stages and beat Doflamingo, I get the trophy for completing the last chapter of the legend log. I'm still far from done with the legend log as a whole, but I'll come back to it. Now I'll do the next mode called Dream Log. For this, I can pick any character I want to play as. This is a lot like the crew episodes from the second game, except instead of having 57 battles to go through, I now have 83. Each island here is a battle, and some islands have characters standing on them. These are harder battles, and by finishing them, I'll unlock whoever was standing on it. I also have to get an S rank on every one of these islands to complete the Legend Diary. Luckily, they all have the same requirements: 2400 KOs, 1200 beat, and an 18-minute time limit. The S ranks are easy, just time consuming. The character I'll use will be mainly based around their crew level. If they're below level 4, I'll use them until they are. I know level 5 is the max level, and I should just use them until then, but trust me on this one. Since there's 83 islands to get through, let's go over any important parts. Specifically, all of the trophies I got during it. When I get to the first strong enemy, which is Ace, there's tons of enemies on the stage, way more than usual. By the end, I have so many KOs and beat that I complete 2 pieces of the Legend Diary for the Dream Log. This, surprisingly, gets me a trophy for getting 100% legend points in a single episode. I have no idea how that works, but sure, I would have gotten it at some point later anyways. After finishing 5 battles here, I get a trophy for completing 5 islands in the Dream Log. After Perona gets to crew level 4, I switch over to Ace and get a trophy for defeating 100,000 enemies. This could have been for defeating 1,000,000 enemies, and I still probably would have gotten it before I was done with the game. After completing more battles, I get a trophy for completing 15 islands in the Dream Log. Now let's fast forward a bunch of hours until I'm halfway done with the Dream Log. I used Hancock for most of this battle and got her crew level to level 2. This unlocks a skill of hers and gets me a trophy for unlocking 20 skills. Many more hours later, I'm using Doflamingo with Mr. 2 as a teammate. He has a hero power available, and when I max out his Kizuna gauge, I get a trophy for using hero power 100 times. Now we're finally at the boss of the Dream Log, Shanks. This battle isn't that bad. I need to beat Shanks and Kuma at first, then they respawn with 2 other characters on the map. I need to beat them all again, then they respawn one more time in the middle of the stage. Even though they all come back, I only need to beat Shanks to win the battle. When I beat him and finish the stage, I get the trophy for completing the Dream Log. Shanks should have been the last character I needed to get the trophy for unlocking everyone, but I didn't get it. I have everyone unlocked, so where is it? I hope it's not bugged. Okay, I just looked it up. Apparently, if Shanks is the last character you unlock, the game does kind of bug out, and I have to play one more stage for the game to register everyone being unlocked. There are 2 more stages anyways, so either way, I have to keep going. After I finish the next battle, I thankfully get the trophy for unlocking all characters. I was scared for a moment there. The actual final island in the Dream Log has a recommended level of 100. It isn't as easy to level up a character past level 50 as it was in the second game. I need specific gold coins for each character, and they can mostly only be gotten from getting their crew level to max or from defeating a bounty in the Dream Log. Bounties will randomly show up after some battles, and beating them will give me a random gold coin. The good thing is I can't get any duplicates. The bad thing is they don't show up often. I'll beat them when I can, and hopefully have enough coins later on to tackle this last stage. One other place I can get gold coins from is the legendaries in the legend log. I need to get 100% legend points in all stages here, which means for every stage, I need to get an S rank, complete all treasure events, beat the stage on hard difficulty, and defeat a certain boss with a special Kizuna attack. There'll also be a special condition unique to each stage. Everything is self-explanatory except the treasure events. These are kind of like side missions within a stage. Each one has anywhere between 2 or 6 treasure events. During a stage, when an opportunity for one comes up, it'll have a question mark over it. This helps give me a hint of what I need to do. Luckily, I have a guide of exactly what's required and how to do it, so there's no guesswork needed. When I complete one, there'll be a small cut-in, basically letting me know I did it. Also, I don't know if it's a glitch or something, but sometimes when I go to finish a boss off with a special Kizuna attack, it doesn't work. Even though they have low health, and it should be more than enough to beat them, they'll survive on nothing. This is annoying because I usually have to play the stage again to get another attempt at it. After I finish the stage against Captain Kodo, I unlock some new coins and get a trophy for obtaining 100 different coins. Now I'm at the stage against Wapol, and this is the first stage where I have 4 teammates at once. While I'm hunting down the treasure events, I'll max out each teammate's Kizuna gauge. When that's all done, I'll do a special Kizuna attack with each of them. Each one I do adds that teammate to the next one. So by the end, I'll have all 4 of them in one attack and get a trophy for doing a special Kizuna attack with 4 teammates. The good thing about going through these stages again is that since most of my characters are level 50, I can play the stage on hard and still get an S rank. If I'm lucky, I can fill out a stage's whole legendary in only one playthrough. Some stages don't allow that though, like chapter 1-4. I have to use Zoto and Sanji for 2 different treasure events, so it's not possible to complete the stage in only one playthrough. It gets even worse with a stage like chapter 4-3. I need to play through it with 4 different characters for all the treasure events. Each playthrough takes about 25 minutes too. By the end, I only need to complete the last stage on hard and do one more treasure event. Once I do that and finish the stage, which took almost 40 minutes by the way, I've officially gotten 100% legend points in the legend log. If you're curious, it took me about 7.5 hours to do this. No trophy popped though, because I still need to do the last stage of the dream log. Unfortunately, after finishing the legend log completely, I still don't have all the coins needed to get anyone to level 100. So I'll just have to go with what I have. Apparently Kuma is the best choice, so I'll go with him. How this battle goes is I need to defeat every Straw Hat member plus Ace and Sabo twice. I go up against them in groups of 2 until the end. In order, they're Nami and Robin, Usopp and Chopper, Brook and Frankie, Sanji and Zoto, then Luffy, Ace, and Sabo for the last fight. After I beat them, everyone comes back for one last beatdown. I have to say, this is a lot easier than I thought it'd be. I did it first try with no struggle. I was never even close to losing at any point. Well, that was underwhelming. After this battle, I get the trophy for completing the final island of the dream log. And because I got an S rank and filled out the last of the legendary, I also get the trophy for getting 100% legend points in all episodes. If you're curious, to do all 83 battles in the dream log, it took me 21.5 hours. If you can believe it, that isn't even the longest grind of the game. Not even close. The longest grind of the game is what we're starting right now. I might have a few trophies left, but they'll all pop along the way. What I need to do, and the cause of this platinum taking so long, is get all 64 characters to max crew level. They each have something that unlocks in the gallery at max level, which is why I need to do this. I have some at level 4 and 5 already, and the reason I stopped playing characters when they hit level 4 is because if they're in a stage I do, even if I don't use them at all, they still get some XP. So over time, they'll get closer to max level on their own while I focus on other characters. The best way to grind beat is the final island in the dream log. I can play as anyone I want, and I can get anyone as a teammate, albeit being random who I get. I'm fairly sure I can't get any of the Straw Hats as a teammate since they're enemies in the stage, but that works for me since they're max level anyways. How I'll go about this is I'll play anyone who isn't max level, obviously, and try to get my teammate to be an NPC. Some of the characters I need to level up are NPCs I can't play as. 27 out of the 64, so almost half. By the end of the battle, I should have somewhere between 3 and 4,000 beat. That amount should level anyone up at least once. Sometimes even twice if I got enough beat. After a lot of hours spent doing this, don't worry, you'll know the exact amount by the end. I have everyone I can play as at level 4. Now I'll start getting them to level 5, and we can finally begin to see some progress being made. Soon after I start doing that, I level Doflamingo up to level 5, and get a trophy for maxing out 20 characters' crew levels. Only 44 more to go. Some more hours later, and here's my current crew level list. How I'm keeping track of everyone's levels is in a Google Doc. That way, if I load into a match and I'm not sure of that character's level, I can check this. I'm not able to check this list if I load into a stage, if you're wondering why I don't only use the in-game list. A few more characters down, and Lucci is the last character I can play as to be level 5. Now, it doesn't matter who I play as, since the only characters that need to be leveled up are NPCs. Don't ask about Alvida and Lapin. I've never been able to get them on the last stage. I wonder if their odds are low, or I'm just insanely unlucky. Since I can play as anyone now, the best character for this is going to be Fujitora. He has an attack that when charged up can wipe out an entire territory and both bosses in it. Trust me when I say, he's a monster. He had this whole stage done in a little over 6 minutes with over 3,000 beat. This is what I'll be doing until I have everyone maxed out. Or at least close to everyone. I'm down to the last few characters, so getting them on the last stage is taking longer than the time I'd be spending in it. To save me that time, I'm just going to go to individual islands where I know these characters will show up. It does take longer as I don't get as much beat to level them up, but it's more consistent. A few more hours and I only have Alvida and Lapin left. It's always these two. Luckily, there's a stage where they can both spawn, sometimes together. That's convenient. Because they're both so low leveled from me never getting them on the last stage, it takes an hour and a half just to get them both max leveled. That hurts, especially at the end of a long grind. But I know I'm almost done. Lapin is the last character to be level 5, and just barely by the looks of it. So now I finally have all 64 characters maxed out. I can't get the trophy yet because there's still 2 more cutscenes I need to unlock. These are simple though, especially compared to everything I've already done. I just need to beat Shanks in the dream log 2 more times, once with Luffy and the other with Sabo. Easy fights that are both over in less than 10 minutes. Now I can go buy everything in the gallery. But before that, there's one more thing I need to do. And it's the other last trophy I've neglected to talk about. I noticed when I beat Shanks with Luffy, I got a gold coin with Ace's face on it. I can use this on Ace to finally get the trophy for breaking a character's level limit. Not like it matters much now, but it's the thought that counts. Okay, now let's go buy everything. I have the maximum amount of belly at 1 billion, so that better be enough. I slowly buy everything, and before putting a dent in my wallet, I get the trophy for completing the entire gallery. And after 3,000 years, the platinum. Before I get to the end section, let me tell you how long I was grinding crew levels for. When I was playing as different characters on the last Dreamlog stage, I spent 19 hours there. Then, when I was leveling up NPCs with Fujitora, I spent a little over 9 hours doing that. So just the crew levels took me almost 30 hours. According to the guide I used, this game should take around 110 hours to platinum. My PS5 says it took me 84 hours. Shaved 25 hours off the estimation. I don't know if that's because I had an idea of what to do beforehand, or if the estimation is inflated as hell. This might be a hot take, but this platinum wasn't that bad. Mind numbing for sure, since I'm just doing the same thing over and over for hours on end, but at least it's a good game I'm playing. Like I said earlier, I've done plenty of 100+ hour platinums, and the 2 already on this channel were way worse than this. Still though, it's nice to know in terms of getting the platinum, this should be the worst One Piece has to offer.